Hey, this is going to be a quick review video on this DEEWAZ tire pressure monitoring system that was sent to me for free. You can get these on Amazon. I'll drop the link down below. But I'm putting it on my 96 Dodge Ram, and it's kind of looking for a tire pressure monitoring system since I put the truck camper on it, and it's really heavy, and God forbid you have a tire blowout or a leak that goes undetected when you're going down the highway. Could spell problems. So yeah, anyway, this is again made by DEEWAZ, but I guess they used to have a different name because if you look in the manual it says D-Life, and you can see they, I guess, put a sticker over that. Let's pull that off. Yeah, there you go. There's four main functions on this. It's got high pressure warning, which is factory set at 45 psi, low pressure warning, which is set at 26 psi, air leakage warning, and then high temperature warning. Let's see what's all in here. So this is the main module. It's got a solar charger on it, and then also like a magnetic charger on the back. So there's our charging cable, again with the plug this in, see how that works. Yeah, stays on there pretty good. Cool. And then your window mount. These are the nuts, lock nuts, and a wrench for security to hold them on there. And then these are the actual sensors. If you can get them out of here. All right, so these are the external sensors which you just screw onto your valve, but I was reading the instructions and you actually can get internal sensors for this too. So let me throw these on and fire it up. It says it's recommended to turn on the solar monitor before installing the sensors. Let's plug that in. I've got that USB cable plugged in. It's key on. I guess you gotta push the button to turn it on. Oh look, that fired right up real quick. Shows 0 psi on everything, and that our battery's charging. And for all four wheels, you will take your plastic valve cap off, or whatever you have on there. And if you choose to use the security nuts, go ahead and thread that on. And then it says FL, forefront left tire. So I can thread this sensor on. Here's some leakage, okay. Snug her all the way down, and then spin that nut, loosen it so that it contacts here. And then while holding the sensor, take the wrench and tighten that jam nut against it so it won't come off, or nobody takes it very easily. And do that for all four. In the bag that contains the nuts, you'll also find 4 spare rubber gaskets, so in case you have to replace those in the future. And hopping back in the truck, you can see the high pressure alarm is going off on 3 of the tires. Not sure why it's not going off in the left front, but it was just beeping too. So I keep this truck around 50 in the front and 80 in the back. To change the values, it's pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this to see how long the battery lasts. It's not sunny at all right now, but on the right side you have an M button. So we're going to press that one time. I'm sorry, press and hold that. And now we're going to press the plus over here once to get to P2, and then press the M button again, and now press the M button again, and we're going to be able to set our high number. So I'm going to set this at 85. Once you're there, press the M button again, and now press the plus button, and that will go to the low setting. I'll leave that, well, you know what, I'll change that to 30, and we'll go 35. Press the M again, and we're good. Now to get back, you press the power button once and twice. There we go. Now we have our pressures set. This thing's still working even though it's not plugged in, so that means the battery's halfway decent even though it hasn't charged at all. We're at 2 bars. Now this thing was set to show PSI and then Celsius degrees, so 15 degrees. It shows actually the temperature of each tire too. So if you want to change that, you can press and hold the M button again. Assume that means mode. And once you get to this screen, I think press it again. All right, now it's going, see it's showing all those. So now you can use this positive and hit cycle through these. So if we wanted Celsius and PSI, we want Fahrenheit and PSI. So once I have it there, I'll press the M button again. And then I think that's set. So now I can hit the power button. Go back, and boom, now we are set to Fahrenheit for the temperature. So 60, 57, 57, and 66. Not sure what's up with that, but maybe they're just different temperatures. This is a light up screen, so seeing it at night is no problem. As far as mounting it, you have 3 options. You can use this pad. It's like an anti-skid pad. You just put that up on your dash. But that's not going to work for me because this truck rides like a brick. You have a suction one that clips on the back. Then you have another that clips on the back, and it's just some 3M adhesive tape. However, I'm going to just let mine sit in here, use it for a few days. I got it plugged in back there too, which the magnetic charger only goes on one way. Won't work if you flip it because of the polarity. Keep in mind that your pressures may go up as you drive, or one side might be higher if the sun's hitting it, because as the temperature changes, generally every 10 degrees is about 1 psi. So as it gets cold, they might go down. As it gets hot, they'll go up. And also, it's normal for tires to lose air over time since rubber is actually a porous material. And I'd say the only downside I see with this system is with these external sensors, you kind of add another point where you might get a leak in the future. It could cause that Schrader to start leaking or get seized up. But, you know, you can always use the internal sensors if you don't like these. And the book says that after parking, this will automatically shut down after 3 minutes of not detecting any vibrations. So I'll see if that shuts down here. And sure enough, it has shut off. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. A little bit of vibration. It turns right back on. Let's see how quick the thing updates if I unscrew this. All right. Going back over. Still says 80. Oh, there it goes. So that was pretty quick. Instead of using these lock nuts, I opted to leave them off since I found even if you crank them down, it wasn't that hard to just twist and remove this anyway. But what I did do is use a piece of vinyl tubing just to cover up the bottom of the valve threads, and then I've rubbed a little bit of grease on this too, just because I know how the aluminum will corrode over time. And also this is going to help keep salt out from the inside of here, because a lot of time if you put aluminum cap on these brass valves, they will corrode and get seized completely on there. So now it stays on there nice and tight, and you know, protects the threads. And at nighttime, this is what it looks like. It's not bright or obnoxious in any which way. Perfect lighting on that. Definitely, you can hang it up on the windshield, and it's like you can set it all the way down here, and it's going to be fine. It's not bothersome. And here we are 1 month later with a final review. You can see the screen is off right now, but when I opened the door, boom, it turned right on. It's been very reliable. I did end up using this little pad here, and it works very well, keeps it in place. This truck rides very stiff, and it's never fallen out or anything. I also have not had to plug it in once, so the little solar charger works pretty good, and it has not been a problem. In fact, actually, it's not showing that the bars are moving right now, and I wonder if that's just because it's fully charged since it's been sitting in the sunlight all day. Yeah, look at that. It knows it's getting light. You can see the little light thing in the center there, but it's actually not charging right now. I will say the temperature feature is not so reliable on it. Like it's saying it's 70 on this side and 64 on that side. It's not 64. These seem to be fluctuating all over as far as the temperatures go. I take that back about the temperature. That was actually because the sensors had gone to sleep. So what happens if you let this sit overnight, it'll be reading whatever the temperature was when those sensors, the wheel sensors, went to sleep. And then I just went and actually flicked each sensor, and then it updated the pressure and temperature. So it's still saying the left rear's, 4 degrees hotter than the left front, although they are sitting in the sun back there, so I guess I could believe that. But yeah, I mean, I've been going down the road, and sometimes I'll see one sensor says it's 10 degrees less than the other, and so that leads me to believe that system's not super reliable. But the pressure seems to always be dead on. And that sums it up, guys. So I'm going to put the final touches on the video here and get it posted. Consider dropping it a thumbs up if it helped you out, or checking out my main channel at No Nonsense No How. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you again. Here's some video of the user manual in case anybody needs to read that and can't find it for some reason, or myself. Here's page 1 and 2. This is 2 and 3. You can pause that if you need to look at it. I'm sorry, that was 3 and 4. Whatever, you get the point. Flip this over, and here you go. Get you a whole shot of that in case you want to pause it. And then frequently asked questions.